Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be American basements versus British basements. So we're smoking all my dragons, divine righteous, almighty greats, overachieving, never slacking. And what's the big difference, right? So right here, someone asked, do British homes have basements? Most houses in England built since the 1960s don't have basements due to the high water table in many areas, flood risk, and the popularity of concrete foundations. Now in America, you know, we tend to have some really nice, extravagant basements. When I personally, for me, when I look for a house, when I was house shopping, basement is key. Having a nice basement, because that man cave, you know, that's part of American culture. That's a big part of American culture. That'd be like our escape from the world. Even though the home in general is paradise, but going into that, what most of us would call a man cave, that's an escape. That's a home away from home. You know, that's where you really go and you let loose and you really just breathe and enjoy yourselves with no interruptions, right? So right here it says, depends where you go. In a lot of areas, especially in northern England, basements are fairly common. Although in older houses, there tend to be areas previously used as coal cellars and aren't exactly spacious. It'd be hard to convert this sort of space into an American-style finished basement, which, like I said before, that them finished basements, that's, you know, you wanna have the boys over, you know, or have the girls over, however it go, have a girl over, have a guy over, have a group of people over, like that's the American way. So into an American style finished basement, most of the time they just get used for storage, for Christmas decorations, grandma's old plates and stuff like that. It has a lot to do with the area, as I see here. In areas where the ground contains a lot of non-sedimentary rock, it's not practical to drill, dig, or blast this out in order for a house to have a basement. There's also the UK climate and the depth of the water table to consider. It rains a lot in the UK and the ground is full of water much of the time, which puts the water table very close to the surface. Building a flood-resistant basement and when the surrounding ground is like this, just to liberate another 300 square foot of living space isn't considered practical. So that, you know, if you have, you know, a large basement, I definitely would like to hear about it, because for it to not be common out there, that's not something I really wouldn't have expected. But at the same time, it's just so different. Someone here said, as others have said, basements are becoming more common in expensive city centers such as London, where it can be more cost effective to add a basement to an existing property than to move. Central London and other UK cities also have many properties built from new with purpose-built basements. Basement flats are also fairly commonplace. Often Victorian properties have cellars below ground floor rather than fully habitable basements. Now, one thing that I did read about was I seen that the elite out there in the UK are actually building like these underground, just these very massive underground, I don't want to say paradises, but yeah, you know, with pools and all type of stuff, like almost like bunkers almost. So that's something that is actually going on a lot in the UK as far as with the elite class. I read an article with them. They're really getting, I mean, they're doing some serious stuff over there. But it says the main reason that basements are commonly found in the USA, particularly in the northern and eastern parts, you know, that's where I'm from. I'm actually from the Northeast. Shout out to the New York, Pennsylvania area. So is that the foundations must be taken below the zone of influence of frost to prevent frost heave. And the parts of the USA where winters are particularly severe, foundations may need to be many feet deep, they're found below the frost zone, where foundations need to go deep enough to allow sufficient room for a basement and it's cheap enough to dispose of the soil. Basements are a cost-effective addition to a property at design stage. In the UK, the winters are usually quite mild and foundations do not need to be as deep to be below the frost zone. Clay soils and tree influence can sometimes lead to deep foundations. Properties in the UK are also, by and large, built by volume house builders who want to maximize profit, and building as many houses as possible as quickly and cheaply as possible is usually the overriding consideration. Basements do not fit well into this equation. So now that we got to all the, we got through all the logical part, let's get to the fun part. Let me show you what an American basement is looking like. Let's go to an American basement. So we're in the kitchen, as you guys can see. The kitchen. We're up here. Now we're gonna head to the basement. Basements are a big part of American culture. Man cave, man cave. Basements, we usually keep the little gym. This is somewhere you come, you relax, you just breathe. You breathe. You go in here is where you tend to have the washer and dryer. Washer and dryer, all in the basement. You come in the basement, you don't gotta go upstairs for a while. Bathroom in the basement. Let me turn this on. Bathroom in the basement. So, TV. Like I said, this is basements, man caves. This is somewhere where you wanna, where you come to unwind. Carpet and couch, all that good stuff, right? You come to unwind. Whether you want to come read, do all that good stuff, extra rooms. And then we usually have, extra room for, like an extra little cellar where stuff is stored. But basements in American culture, that's our thing. We love basements. We love basements, furnished basements. And a lot of people actually, especially if you go to like New York City, if you go to bigger cities, you will see a lot of people who they live in basements, what technically is basements. It's an apartment. It may be marketed as or sold as an apartment, rented out as an apartment. So a lot of people, but I would definitely stay away from like inner city life if you're more of a simple person, because inner city life, that comes with a lot of roaches and rats. I'm just going to be honest. You live in New York City, you can live in a high-end place. You can still attract a lot of roaches and rats out there. They just kind of run that city. But you definitely want to avoid that. But as far as, like I said, basements, big thing in American culture. We love our man caves. It's just awesome. A lot of people also tend to work out of their basements, have businesses out of their basements, which I think is also pretty cool. A lot of people tend to raise families out of their basements. I've met a lot of people who actually have enjoyed living in a furnished basement better than, that's their favorite spot, better than just a regular house, being in a regular room. They'd rather be in a nice furnished basement. A lot of people throw parties out of their basements and have get-togethers all the time. So this is definitely a big part of American culture. That's really the big difference. Shout out to the UK. Much love, and I'm going to keep these videos coming. I will talk to y'all soon.